The Atari Creep YouTube channel is intended for a mature audience. Regardless of the subject matter, this video may contain strong language, simulated violence, and psychological nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. What's up, creepers and geekers? Chris, the Atari Creep. How's everyone doing today? I don't know why I just showed you my mad ninja skills. I don't even know where the fuck that came from. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. You know what? I just used a whole bunch of Bondo glazing putty. I had a fan on. That shit gets in your brain. It's like sniffing old modeling glue, I guess. Makes you a little wacky. But regardless, what are we doing today? We're going to take a deviation. I am working on a couple of toy videos, and I'm writing up ideas for game videos. But Linda, the gamer girl, she's here, she's playing games, and that's exactly what we're doing. She tagged me in a game, and I was so happy to see that because I put everything aside. I like to do things different once in a while, just to break it up a little bit. So what are we doing? We're playing a game called the Name Game, I guess you call it. Name game? I don't know. Basically what it is you got to take your name, take the first letters of your name, and try to find a game that has the same, that starts with the same letter. So we got a couple of rules here and a couple of variations. I could have just done Chris or Christopher. The Atari Creep? Which one did I go with? We'll find out here in a second. But I set myself a couple of rules. They all had to be 2600 games. Atari VCS / 2600 games. And they all had to be within my collection. I had to be able to hold it in front of you and then talk about it. I think that's basically the rule anyway. You have to have it in your collection. But that's really all there is to it. So which name did I go for? Drum roll, please. I didn't want to fucking make it easy. Of course I went with the Atari Creep. Are you out of your fucking mind? Of course I did. Hold on. We got a fucking wee-woo over here. I'm going to be 46 in a couple of months. That still gives me goosebumps. I still love watching the fire Jinjins driving by. I went with the name Atari Creep. And you know what? There was a couple of challenges within that. But I was able to get an Atari 2600 cartridge that corresponds with each letter of the name. I didn't use the, just Atari Creep. So, moving on, let's start with A for Atari. Armadar. Now, I picked this game not because I really like it or anything, not because I think it's a fantastic game. It's a good game. It's a game similar to Pepper 2, where you're trying to, like, not zip things, but you're trying to complete squares while avoiding enemies and the like. When I first got this cartridge, I popped it in my 2600. Someone told me it was that kind of a game, and I was excited because Pepper 2 is like one of my favorite games from the past. I put this in, and it was just so sluggish. I thought my cartridge was busted. I thought it was just a bad cartridge. So I went out and bought another one. And then another one. Then I realized, no, it's just a little slower. That's all. But it's not a bad game once you get used to it not being Pepper 2. But Armadar is a fun game. It's in one of those really rad Parker Brother cartridges. So that's what I picked for A. T was not even, it was a no-brainer. Target Front. Telegames 27. This is the game that came packed in with my Telegames Series Video Arcade when I was a kid. It's basically air-sea battle, but this one actually says Target Fun, so I figured that's not even a technicality. I love this game. I love playing it. As a matter of fact, when I went up to New Hampshire / Maine a couple of months back and dropped off the I.O. junk box and got to hang out and play that Atari kiosk, him and I battled on this a little bit. We played a couple different variations. Growing up, a few of my friends were kind of like, that one's boring. I still love going back to this, even if it's just by myself. A. Asteroids. Do I need to really say anything about Asteroids? I mean, this is a no-brainer as well. Asteroids is such a great game. Some people have a problem with the Asteroids being solid colors and not being, like, vector-like, I guess. I mean, obviously, you couldn't do vector graphics on the Atari 2600, but just the outline of the Asteroid, I've never had a problem with that. In fact, this was my sole experience playing Asteroids. For the most part, I played in the arcade here and there, but I didn't have too many arcades close to me where it was convenient to get to, and we've talked about that a few times. So, R. River Raid. You knew there was going to be at least one Activision title. We got two. We'll get to that here. River Raid, just another game. It's a shooter. There's just so many elements to it. You can't go too fast, and you got to gas up, but you can also get points for blowing up the gas. You can't touch anything on the side. You can't touch anything. You just got to blow everything up and try to get gas. That's the only thing you can touch. There's games that are hard. There's games that are easy. There's some that are challenging. Some draw you in with the frustration and make you want to do more. Some make you want to smash the fucking system. This is not one of those. This draws you in and makes you want to go further. I want to see what's on the horizon. I wanted to see what was next. It was more the same, but you get what I'm talking about. So River Raid, again, another no-brainer. This was the hardest one until light shined on fucking Marblehead over here. I actually picked another game that was a little bit of a cheat. We will talk about that here because it does come in later on, and that's why I picked it for that letter. But then I'm looking at my collection going, hey, stupid, Indy 500. You used to play this a lot, and again, you got picked on by your friends for playing this boring game. This game is unboring for a number of reasons. One, it's fun. I think it's fun. Sure, it's circles or it's, whatever. But it's the only game that has its own controller that you can only use with this. There are some other games that have their own controller, but that controller will translate into other games if you so desire to use it, with the exception of paddle controllers. But there are multiple games that use paddle controllers. This one has one controller, and it's for one game only that I'm aware of, unless there's a homebrew, which I'm not going to count because that's not an officially released game from Atari or for the Atari during its day. So Indy 500, if you've never checked it out, really good stuff. Really good stuff. C. We're going to go to C now. We're at Creep. We just did Atari. Now, I know what you're going to say. What the fuck is that? This is a copy of Centipede. This is a copy of... I do have one that's labeled properly, but a while back, my buddy Johnny Mono made me a couple of Atari labels, I guess you call it. I had him put together a different one, and he made these just for fun and threw them in. Centipede's probably my dream cabinet. I say probably. It most definitely is. I would love to have a Centipede cabinet. That was one of the games at the local bowling joint that they had. They only had a handful of games, Centipede being one, and I fucking tossed a ton of quarters. Now, a lot of people think Centipede was more of a female's game. You could take that however you like. I don't care. I'm pretty strong with my inner self. I love Centipede. I fucking love Centipede. Plays awesome on here. Again, going back to that Atari kiosk, he had a homebrew version of this that actually worked well with a trackball. And it was just phenomenal. I need to get all that in conjunction. Maybe I'll talk to him and find out where he got it and all that stuff. But Centipede, yeah. You have to have Centipede on a list where the letter C comes in. R. Now, this actually ties into Indy 500. Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that's the only reason I put this on this list, because it was funny. I was going to use this as my cheat for I. I was just going to say Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. But the game's called Raiders of the Lost Ark. It says it right there, and I wouldn't have felt right doing that, and I'm glad I remembered, you have Indy 500. I actually had to dig it out. It wasn't like I was looking and went, oh, okay, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Although, this is how do you say it? I don't want to say a historically significant game. It's definitely a masterpiece from our friend Howard Scott Warshaw. He did a fantastic job with this. It's one of the first games I can remember having to figure shit out on the Atari 2600. It might have been my first, hey, you need to figure this shit out game, period. I remember putting this in and just being like, what the hell? Then we read the manual, and me and my buddy worked in conjunction, and then we finally beat the game. Not a bad game if you can handle that kind of thing. Frustrating at some points, but Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's worth at least giving it a shot. If anything, the label art's amazing. All right, we're on our first E. What do you think it's going to be? This is a no-brainer. Come on. Put it down below. All right, you've had enough time. E.T., the extra testicle, terrestrial. Any Therese. No, E.T., it's going to be on the list. I mean, people hate it. Some people try to, and I say this a million times, I use this game to judge where people are when it comes to video game and collecting. I listen to how they describe this game. Not the gameplay itself, but its significance within the hobby. And if they say certain words, worst game of all time, caused the crash and stuff like that. I know that they're kind of a lemming, or they're new. They're eating up what the internet says. They didn't open this on Christmas morning in 1982, like this fat fuck did. I opened this on Christmas morning. I popped it into the machine without reading the manual. I just walked around as E.T. thinking that was cool as shit. I never actually played it. I actually enjoyed just running around as E.T., collecting shit and eating Reese's Pieces. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was E.T. and it had a really cool intro screen. So when I got a little older, I found a copy of the manual in a library of all places. I took a photocopy of it when it was a nickel a copy, and there you go. I finally figured out how to play the damn thing, and I played it. E, another Activision title. Enduro, one of the first, and a lot of people would sit there and say pole position. I see a lot of people going back and forth, Enduro or pole position. If I were to pick for the 2600, one of these two, it's definitely Enduro. Not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. But for me personally, a lot of firsts happen in this game. Different day and night and snowy and all this stuff. It was mind-blowing at the time. I mean, obviously now it's just rudimentary as fuck. But you got to put yourself in the mindset of when this game came out. I don't even know when this one came out. Could have been around 82, 83, I'm guessing, at best. Someone let me know down in the comments below. It's not that important, regardless. But you got to put your mind in that time frame and remember what was actually out there and what we were used to. And then you pop into something like Enduro. It blew your mind. It really blew your mind, whether you're into the racing thing or not. I wasn't so much, but we did play this enough to where I was just like, wow, yeah, rock and roll, oochie oo. Last but not least, P. We're at the end of Creep. Phoenix. The first game I ever played that had a boss. That blew my mind. Again, think about the time period in which this was made, when we would have played this for the first time. And on top of that, it's a great translation of the game. I think it's amazing. I love this game. I could pop this in anytime. This or Galaxian for the 2600 and just have hours and hours of enjoyment. So, just to recap, Atari, Amadar, Target Fun, Asteroids, River Raid, Indy 500, Creep, Centipede, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Enduro, and Phoenix. I'm looking down at your tits. No, I'm just kidding. I got the list right here, so I know exactly where I'm at. So there you go. There is my name in video game titles. I guess that's what I'll call it. My name in video game titles, and it's only gone 13 minutes as a second I just said that. I'm surprised I didn't go like 25 minutes talking about each one of these games. I could tell you a story. You want to hear a story? No? Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll let you go. I'll let you do your thing. Linda, thank you so much for tagging me. I'm of course going to leave this in an open tag, but I will tag 3 people. First one's going to be Brian's Man Cave. I want you to do it. Let's see. Who else? I didn't think this one through. I didn't think this part through. You know what? The next 2, yeah, I'm going to do Willie's Man Cave, Brian's Man Cave, Willie of Arcade USA, and I'd be curious as to what the No Swear Gamer comes up with. So, the 3 of you, No Swear Gamer, Willie Arcade USA, and Brian's Man Cave. I want your name in games before the end of the weekend. I want it on my desk for grading, or I'll flunk you and I'll kick you out of school for the rest of the year. Either way, guys. I had fun doing this. This was so much fun. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. There was a couple of curveballs. I really was going to use this for I, and I know I would have gotten puked on for it. But you know what? It's my channel. I don't give a fuck. But I really do, guys. I hope you're having a great week. What is it? Tuesday. Wow. I just got back. I was out for a little bit. I got back. And I got a lot to do today. I'm getting tested. I'm getting COVID tested because I work for the schools. And we're shut down this week. So me and the girls are going to go get tested. Employees and students all week long. They've been home remote. That's why I'm back in this room. So guys, I hope you're doing well. I really do. Thank you all so much for watching. Go ahead and leave your feedback. Thumbs up, thumbs down. All feedback to the Creep is positive. If you want to write down your name and games down below or do a response video, it's an open tag. You don't have to. I just threw a few names out there because that's what you do. But I'd be curious as to what you would pick. So if you do a response video, let me know. Make sure I'm aware of it. Message me on the social medias, or just let me know down below. Don't put a link down there. I think it'll get blocked. Just say, hey, Creep, I responded to this or something to that effect. And I'll click on your name and Bob's your uncle. Guys, hope you're doing well. I know I've said that a few times. Thank you always so much for watching. And until next time, take care. Creep it real. That's from the Games Are. And his wife. And bye-bye.